This is Mongolian Mindset, and today we're going to be reacting to Brandon fucking Jamal.
I'm hit it raw. You didn't have second thoughts. Now you a single mom. Now you a single mom.
We won't be getting into the video where we break him down like we usually do systematically, but I'll be revealing his type. He is a creative ENTP. So what we'll be looking at is a rebellious ENTP. They take a more rebellious role being the creative subtype. A key person that you can see that is an ENTP that's creative, is Kanye West, just to get an idea of what they look like. Very creative people, very, very creative, but they could be a little explosive, a little unaware of their emotional state. So you'll see that play out a lot, okay? And we're gonna be watching these clips. We're gonna see why Brandon Jamal is famous. We're going to see what happened to him on a podcast, and we're gonna be breaking that down. And I predicted his next move based off his personality type. So that's what happened when you've done this a couple times or you've done this a lot. You can put these pieces together and you can make predictions.
If you don't know who Brandon Jamal is, this guy has a viral hit right now, super viral song talking about single moms. Obviously triggered a lot of people. So he went on Fresh and Fit, and if you don't know who they are, it's a red pill podcast that has a panel of women. They talk about red pill talking points. Obviously very controversial. Now, usually Fresh and Fit is the controversy in the video, but in this case, even Brandon Jamal was too much for the host of Fresh and Fit, and he got kicked off the show. So first,
wait. He didn't get kicked off. He walked off the show.
They did want him before, but he went a little too far. But we're going to be reacting to first Brandon Jamal's viral hit so that you can catch the bearings of why this guy is being talked about right now. So let's get into that.
And then I will say this, we'll be watching the holy grail of the ENTP, the famous, what I call the fucking famous, most famous. When you see this, you're gonna recognize it's called the NE flip. So what that is extroverted intuition. And that's how they will use and weave and change the scenario that they're basically in against you.
All right, let's get into the first video, the viral hit by Brandon Jamal. Here we go.
Now you a single mom. You let him hit it raw. You didn't have second thoughts. Now you a single mom. Now you a single mom. You said I'ma have this kid. Don't care if he's here or not. But now you a single mom. Now you a single mom. Now you a single. Showing a baby off. Showing a baby off. Now you a single. Showing a baby off. Showing a baby off.
Now, as you can see, this guy is extremely controversial because he's making fun of single moms. And in this climate, not a thing you can do and get away with without controversy or criticism. Okay.
But the thing about ENTPs that make them able to do this is they're pragmatic. So this is one of the interaction styles that help you find people's personality type. The two metrics are affiliative, which is interdependence, about connections, it's about inclusion. And then there's the pragmatic people who are about autonomous actions. They're rebellious, they're more self-reliant type people. And you can tell that he is pragmatic. Okay, so he's meeting that metric with this right here.
Now, Mercer, do ENTPs usually do they want to be kind of like the center of attention, seeking attention and stuff like that?
I think a lot of times what they will say goes against what their actions do, right? So if you ask an ENTP, they'll say, "Hey, I don't really like the center of attention." But then when you check in their actions, they keep doing controversial shit to be in the spotlight. It's like you always scratch your head, like Kanye West is continuing to say crazy shit all the time. And he pops up in where? Andrew Tate. What is he doing? He's always there. So what they say and what they do is two different fucking things.
Right.
Okay. Even I see it with my own brother. He says he doesn't like attention. Motherfucker, shut the fuck up, you fucking do.
And then as you could tell, he also kind of plays a character. with the whole diaper thing, and we'll see later in the podcast he'll bring the diapers on. Is that something that ENTPs like to do, or wear like a character, or what?
So what you'll see with ENTPs a lot of times is they have introverted feeling in the seventh spot. So what you'll see a lot of times is they'll play different roles of different characters. So a lot of times you see these guys as actors and whatnot, and it makes it very easy for them to be actors because they can just slip on a mask, okay? And they'll wear that persona like nobody else's business. I'll never forget one time I was out with Kyle. Kyle was doing this one thing where he was acting as if uh, he was viral with this app, right?
Hmm, hmm,
And this
hmm.
motherfucker is so into this mask that he put on. When he went home, I mean, when we were leaving, he said, "Man, this kind of sucked, bro. Like I got to go back to like my regular life." And it's like, because he was so used to wearing that mask that he was viral, he was famous, whatever, and he was doing that the whole fucking night. And he was doing this shit so well. I'm like, God damn, dude, like this guy really believes this shit.
Right, right. It's almost like he deluded himself into believing that it was real. Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Another
Hmm.
metric to find your personality type is if somebody's concrete or abstract. Okay, so they could get so abstract that they be perceived as this as reality.
Right. Okay.
There's no good men but you bitches stay pregnant.
All right, so here we go. We're going into the podcast. He's at Fresh and Fit. They've been talking for a couple hours. And he's been very loud with a couple of the women on the panel. Now, this is normal for Fresh and Fit. If you've seen any of the episodes, they get pretty, confrontational. But as opposed to a regular episode of Fresh and Fit, in this case, he's kind of signaling and he's kind of like focusing on just one of the girls. And he's kind of being disrespectful to the host. And it's getting to the point where the hosts are almost at their limit. So let's see what happens.
Age, and no one's married yet. No one's married. Like, no one has an official relationship. Like,
You mean the women or the men here?
everybody.
Yo, who's the viral nigga here or not? May I speak? What the fuck? Are we here for these bitches or me and bro? Like, for real.
So what I'll see right here is that at this particular time, um, Brandon Jamal is very uncomfortable, right? So ENTPs can really show their ass when they get very uncomfortable situation. It's usually a fight or flight situation here
Mm-hmm.
that you get after that, okay? Which a lot of people would term as SE demon,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So
Now, can
so
you
about
explain, like for example, the critic for a ENTP? Like, how would that
so
look? Mm-hmm.
So that's more about extroverted thinking, okay? So if you there'll be very much to critique any outside sources, right?
Mm-hmm.
um to like go through them, but you're not gonna really see that here. He's not going through that. It's kind of like, hey man, this is supposed to be about me. I'm really not having a good time. I'm not getting a good experience here.
Mm-hmm.
um I thought I was the guest of honor, and that's a thing about ENTPs that I find to be a little scary. It's like once they start getting a fan base, they can become very scary.
Mm-hmm.
um
Mm-hmm.
Another famous ENTP, Adolf Hitler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Start getting some fame, some people backing him. Man, they could become, phew, they can become really something. So
Yeah.
you'll see that play out in these
And can we
videos.
talk a little bit about the host, about Myron here? Like, he's an ENTP as well, right? Can you explain the
Yeah. So
differences between Myron being an ENTP and Brandon being an ENTP?
so like if you follow Dario Nardi's brain imaging, uh, Brandon Jamal will fall under the creative ENTP, so the very rebellious, generating ideas madly. They're gonna go from pretty much job to job a lot because they're just creative and rebellious, right? But then you have Myron Gainesville, who represents a normalizing ENTP. So they have a more chart the course type style, which is a little bit more calm, a little bit more cautious. You may not recognize this person as an ENTP because they're not just randomly just generating ideas like you would see like somebody like Brandon Jamal. And you can see Myron with taking the notes and everything, very, very meticulous. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If it was only men on the show, I
keep
don't think
raising
it would
my
be that
hand and nobody
successful.
lets me talk. You want to hear what this yapping heifer has to say except for the viral niggas? What the fuck is going on here?
You're corny.
If we finna let these bitches talk all day, can I
chill
just
the fuck out, man?
Yeah,
so
chill the fuck out, man.
Like,
You're corny.
Chill the fuck out, bro.
So as we can see, Myron kind of reached his limit here. Do you have any explanation for that?
The tough situation here is that Myron is kind of the alpha in the room here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's got to like he's trying to chill and have a good time, but now it's like kind of getting out of hand, and he's got to really get everything back in control. I think that girl who keeps initiating is an ESFP, and they could be quite troublesome. They're also initiating, so they'll keep interrupting people. That's why she said, "You're corny." Right? She's trying to shame him, make him feel bad. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see that tactics from ESFPs all the time. They can really like make men feel like shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're not good at.
And then Brandon's just like, "Hey, I'm the show here. I'm the star here. Like look at me, kind of thing." And like you said, Myron is kind of trying to keep everything under control. But we all know when you say, "Hey, chill the fuck out," it means if you cross this boundary, there's gonna be some repercussions, essentially.
I'm leaving.
Right? Who is this guy?
What the fuck? All right, bro. Just
LOL.
Just leave.
What a cornball.
You're doing too much, bro.
You hear that? You
Sure,
stop it.
a whole lot.
You should keep seeing how like she keeps saying, "What a cornball!" Like, oh, what a cornball! Like no other woman is really talking. I think Brandon Jamal had a problem with her,
Mhm.
or to say anything. I think she got underneath her skin, and as Kyle has said to me, when people come nasty with him, he meets them at their level, but one level higher.
Right.
So that's what the Brandon Jamal is on. So that is a perfect scenario for an ENTP. Like if you treat them nastily, they're gonna go right at your fucking level, but one dose higher, right? So you gotta understand that if you're gonna deal with ENTPs, and I've seen that play out with my older brother throughout my life, with Kyle and shit like that, and that's a very good thing to say right there.
So is it right to say that you have a PhD in ENTPs from dealing with your brother and your friend Kyle?
Yeah, I'm pretty good with them. It's second nature to figure out what they're gonna do. And like I said, they got the most powerful card in their fucking deck. When everything looks lost, most people will be going to jail. Most people will be whatever. If you give these motherfuckers the opportunity to talk, they will talk. They believe they could talk themselves out of anything, and they usually will with the almighty NE flip. And you can check that in history. Adolf Hitler talked himself out of his trial. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and we'll see that later. So let's just continue the video and see what happens.
You're doing too much, bro.
Now you singlemom.com. Get your merch.
I'm
Man, get
not
outta
a
here,
single
bro.
mom. What a
Fuck outta
weirdo.
here, man.
Respect.
You
Hey,
left
stop
your
right there.
records, they're
You know he's got to get the last jab. ETP's always got to get the bitch made nigga. When he's walking out there, he's got to get the last jab there.
Yeah. You got the last word. Reminds me of your brother, man. Your brother always needs the last word. I swear.
He always got to have the last
I
word.
don't know if you're gonna be able to.
Man.
This guy was stocking diapers the entire time. Like,
You hear that?
make some
All right,
content.
so stop it there. You see what she said? She said an essay statement. She's talking about what Brandon Jamal was doing. This man was stacking diapers the entire time. But it's also an shaming tactic as well.
Yeah.
Never had anything in their damn life when they keep bringing up, I did this on TikTok.
Like, you got
I
it.
just kept saying it like this nigga has a
Tell me, you did way
Did he
more.
make $1 million
And-
on
and-
TikTok?
Yeah, go ahead.
And this is a scenario where I think this guy sounds like a 60-year-old man talking about a younger adult.
Well, I mean, he is older. I think in his eyes, what he was doing, bragging in front of him about, views and followers and stuff, it seemed childish to him. So it was getting under his skin the whole time, just to give a little context.
I will say one thing though. A lot of people forget. It's like that person who's been at a job for so long, they forget what it's like to be new, right? So he probably had a particular moment like that in his life, when he made it in his life. But he's been doing it for so long that people naturally project that onto others.
True. But you know, it's like they said. They were saying like you're doing too much. You're doing too much. I could get that way too. Like when somebody's being too extra. You know, I don't know this guy's type. I guess like I mean we could kind of assume, but certain people just don't like people doing too much. Like he was, you know, being too extra. You know, for him. So it just got under his skin, and he was just about ready to be done with him. You know.
Done. It's like
cool.
that's corny as hell. It's just you can tell he's never done anything, didn't do any shit in high school, didn't do anything in college, and the only thing you have is this, and you just keep saying it, and it got ugly and irritating.
Yeah.
Got ugly and irritating.
Yeah.
Got ugly and irritating.
Yeah.
It's funny because he called us bitch ass niggas before, and we said, you know what, we'll mend the bridge with you because he apologized, and then came on talking shit again. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
Man, like when you're dealing with ENTPs, you gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful. They can apologize, but they don't really fucking mean it, man. They're just saying that shit to make you fucking feel good, okay?
Right.
They're still gonna like do their own thing, especially when you're dealing with that creative subtype. You gotta know that you're walking into like fucking a zoo, man. You never know what the fuck you're gonna get, man. So you gotta. Sometimes it's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. Like if you're gonna, I feel like if you're gonna be in a business type of relationship with a guy like this, you gotta come ready for their words not to align with their actions. Also, you know, it's almost like they can delude themselves into thinking that they're justified in doing the shit they do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they live almost in another reality in their brain where like they're the victims. They play the victim all the time in order to justify them doing some nasty shit like this, you know? Like going up to these people, you insult them, then you apologize so you could get their platform, and then you insult them again, you know? So, hey.
That's fine, as hell.
Yeah, it's fun. Dummy, bro.
but you got brag about what you've done is crazy.
Yeah,
He just kept saying it.
This is why he said
All
that
right,
shit
so
under his
that right there threw me. With him talking about you got to brag what you done. I think most guys on the planet essentially brag for what they've done, man.
Yeah.
They're all do it. So I mean, that's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black, man.
Yeah, it's a little hypocritical, especially because you know, a lot of freshes,
Especially with fresh.
yeah, especially with fresh, because his brand is all about using you know, riches and opulence to get followers. So in a way, he owes a lot of what he has based on bragging. So to say that another man is bragging and kind of like insulting him for it is hypocritical, especially when it comes from Fresh. Now, if it came from Myron, it'd be different because Myron is more about you know, loyalty and productivity than Fresh. Fresh uses opulence and looks and marketing to get his you know, his flowers.
Pretty much manipulates. He pretty much manipulates.
Yeah. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What did he say under his breath?
Bitch ass niggas, whatever.
Yeah, that's the last thing he said on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's the least
Wow.
man.
See that
Least
shit
one
under his breath,
here.
man.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
And here again, I like sometimes I just feel like Fresh be doing some shit to kind of like get Myron's SE demon out, right? Because he'll keep saying it, and then Myron's like, you know, starting to like, and then he's gonna like, you know, maybe he walk out there like, what the fuck you said, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But and then Fresh act like he ain't did nothing, you know. But he's like consistently saying, "Oh, this man called us bitch ass motherfuckers. This man disrespected us." I just feel like me personally, bro. If you feel disrespected, Fresh, say something. Don't rely on Myron.
Right. So he always relies on Myron to act for him. You would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But here we're gonna move on to the next clips. These clips are him reacting to what happened and kind of starting to flip the narrative, right?
Yeah.
Like here he's trying to get a one up on Fresh and Fit and show that at the end of the day he was the star of the show and that they were in the wrong and he was in the right. So
what I would say is called the any flip here. This is the holy any flip. Let me flip the narrative against him. He only had two moves here. It was either he used his holy card, which is the any flip, or he went on and actually owned what happened there. Okay. And as I suspected, he would do the any flip.
all right, let's see.
As your hosts, Myron and Walter,
I'm supposedly the guest of honor.
Cool. And we got a special guest in the house. 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 Welcome, Brandon. We know who you are, but
And then you proceeded to not even ask me the same questions you niggas called me the guest of honor, but you ain't even asked me about me. But I'm the asshole, right?
Now you're a single mom. Come on. Now you're a single mom.
I just think, like, in general, a lot of times ENTPs will set you up with a backwards comment, and then 10 seconds later they'll be tearing your ass down with just nasty ass insults.
Yeah,
You just gotta set yourself up to it. They're gonna set you up. Listen to it. It's the same thing. Seen it over and over. They're gonna set you with a backwards comment.
and he's trying to play the victim or starting to play the victim. So it'll lead into the next one.
First of all, I would like to say thank you for all the negative comments on my platforms that I've received due to this fresh and fit thing. Because, people stop leaving negative comments on my page because they realize me and my fan base is not the one. So ever since this fresh and fit thing popped off, I'm getting all those gentlemen in my comments now.
See that?
But let me tell you about the...
Wait, see what he said that? He set it up. He said the gentleman. He said my fans. So he's trying to divide you into you support him or you don't.
Mhm.
Okay, so he's going to get his true followers from this. But he's also setting up the backwards comment here to tear you down.
Right.
Fresh and fit fan base. These are the kind of men who pay $1,000 to a man to help them with their dating profile. These are the kind of men who pay $35 a month to watch a 3-hour podcast on a Friday night. $35 a month to not watch a good podcast, but to watch a podcast that regurgitates the same talking points. If you notice on that...
Yeah, that's some TE critic there regurgitating the same, what you call it? That's some TE critic.
The same talking points.
podcast, there were several intelligent women who I didn't call bitch at all, who had plenty of things to say, but they choose to focus on the...
Go ahead.
There, he tries to make himself look good by saying, I didn't call every woman on the podcast a bitch. There was terrible, there was intelligent women there, and you didn't see me say anything bad about them.
Right. It's like he's painting himself as the victim, and he's being justified in his actions, and he's actually the good guy here, according to him.
Any flip, boom.
Yeah.
Because the fan base of Fresh and Fit needs to feel superior to women in any sort of way, because they're the actual misogynists that they're painting me to be.
Now, keep in mind, this is the guy who created several songs about single mothers and making fun of them. And he's calling them the misogynist and not him. He's in his brain, he's the good guy. He's justified. I could do this. You know what I mean? So,
let me tell you something. Not taking people's shit has cost me jobs in the past, all right?
So I'm pragmatic. I'm pragmatic.
As your employee, best believe I'm not gonna take your shit. If I'm supposed to be the guest on your motherfucking whack-ass, misogynistic, woman-hating podcast, nigga, it'll get...
that reminds me of your brother so much. Fast talking with the insults, man. ENTPs.
Haircut. It's my birthday.
And then they go on this little side journey, like, oh, and I thought it went crazy. I'm getting a haircut and all of this shit. It's comical, man.
Yeah, after they go on this tirade, it's like, now I'm dancing and having a good time, having a good experience. Now, in this clip specifically, he's trying to show that Myron was actually a fan of Brandon. So he's smart with the editing to make it look like that. Now, do you believe because they're both ENTPs, maybe initially they had a good interaction, or what do you think?
I think, because a lot of times want to be saying things that the other one wants to say, okay, or want to be doing things that the other wants to do. So naturally, they're going to click based off that. But I think it's weird because, with the extra information, that he did call them bitch ass motherfuckers or some shit. So that's kind of weird because let's say if my brother was hosting that show, oh man, this would have went left bad. But I mean, Myron's had enough problems, so maybe that kept him in range. But if that was my brother's a dominant variant of an ENTP, that would have went bad when he would say bitch ass motherfucker. My brother would have just jumped up like, what you want to do, motherfucker? Like, let's go right now. And he would have like bitched him out right there and made him feel so small, like right there. He would have had to do something.
Right.
It would have been good.
Gotcha.
Like, what does he think he is?
Y'all, despite what Myron says, he loves me, and I can prove it. All you gotta do is break down the game film.
You can call me Brandon. You can call me the night you a single mom, nigga. I don't give a fuck what you call me, as long as you bring in a check. You feel me? Call me whatever you like. I'm very nice and country until you try me. Then it's like, bitch, I'm a Gemini. Why would you play with me? You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. You wish you looked this good.
That goes to that thing when I told you guys earlier about with ENTPs. It's like if you treat them a certain way, they're gonna go to that level, but one level higher.
Now, can I ask you about the whole Gemini comment? I think it's interesting that because I guess they could be very abstract, so they could believe in things like astrology and stuff like that. Also, I guess like, do they believe, for example, your brother when we had the discussion about mermaids and stuff like that? Like, is that something common that you see in the ENTPs? They're very like superstitious.
Like, man, they just like to entertain possibilities, bro. They may not even fucking believe it. They may not even care about something, but they're just gonna entertain a possibility. Like, for instance, I'll use an example. I was out like last weekend, and I was with an ENTP girl, and I kissed her, right? And then the next day, Kyle's like, "Yeah, that girl was lesbian, hardcore lesbian." But all she's doing in that moment was she's exploring the possibilities. She's having fun. She's exploring the possibilities. So that's the type of thing like you'll see with these people. Even if I was to sleep with her, I'd probably never see her again and probably think, "Oh my God, I was trash in bed or something."
Right.
But like they're just entertaining the possibility. So you'll
Gotcha.
see them like entertain. Like he may not even believe mermaids, whatever, but he'll entertain the possibility against what you got to say.
Gotcha.
He's 6 motherfuckers. This man, he's a 24-year-old virgin. His girl popped up pregnant. So he's like, bitch, he was gonna take her back and raise that kid until he saw
Bro,
my
stop
video.
this. So sometimes when an ENTP be saying some shit, bro, the shit don't even sound true. The shit don't even sound like it is literally plausible. A 24-year-old man, fucking girlfriend comes back pregnant, and he's a virgin. Make that make sense. And he was gonna take her back. Really?
Well, what I see here is that he wants to paint.
Make yourself. You're making up shit to validate yourself and make yourself look bigger.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, he's trying to paint himself as like a messiah who saved somebody from a horrible fate or whatever. Like, he's trying to seem larger than life here by saying that story, but we don't even know if that's true or not. So
yeah, and I have a rule when I deal with ENTPs. If I didn't see it, I don't believe it.
Stupid. Like this. There's no way in the fuck. Good. He said, "Fuck it." Thank you, appreciate you. Thank you. I'm blushing and shit. I'm light skinned. Y'all I mean, you covered it all. It all sounds pretty basic. Actually,
so as we see, Brandon Jamal, he's like Mercer would say, he flipped the whole situation to paint himself as the good guy, Fresh and Fit as the bad people who didn't appreciate him or whatever, who were actually fans of him. This whole like abstract reality, right? He creates an abstract reality in his brain to justify himself. Okay.
It's great to be able to present to the world the almighty biggest card that you will deal with an ENTP, and is the almighty NE flip. You may think you got these people called red-handed in a case scenario, and they will just flip out of that motherfucker. If you could imagine a wrestler when you try to hit them with your signature move and they flip out of it and hit you with their signature move, that's what you just witnessed right here. Okay, that's what I want people to visualize when you with this, and understand that like these people are very good at gaslighting, manipulating, and just all of that nature. Okay. They win with words. They really do win with words, and they can manipulate a scenario to paint it a certain picture.
So as you can see, we brought the breakdown of Brandon Jamal and the incident he had with Fresh and Fit. We're gonna be doing a lot more videos like these of situations that happen. Mercer's gonna be breaking them down. Remember, Mercer has been reading analytical psychology for a while. He's kind of an expert on the field now, so he could break down exactly why these situations occur and how you could prevent similar situations from happening to you.
So I will say again, a very great case of an ENTP using their tactics to come out on top in a very dangerous situation. Because right there, his fate could have went one or two ways. I think he did flip it to get the best out of that situation. Remember, these guys are very strategic. Um, you better like if you're going to interact with them, you better do it with caution. Okay. And always remember, we do typing sessions by us. All we ask is that you join our Discord. Uh, that's our Discord. And message one of our moderators, and we'll get back to you with our availabilities. We do believe we are the best when it comes online, and we do have every one of the interaction styles, cognitive functions, intelligence, all of that broken down in our playlist. So highly recommend you check that out so you become an expert just like me.
So subscribe to Mongolian Mindset and remember to watch the video not once, not twice, but 3 times so that you could get all these concepts and you could apply them in real life. Okay.
And then I just want to hear one of you ENTPs in the comment below that any flip, baby.